I think that's part of why you get the legendary title and stuff.
It kills me every time I hear that because, and shout out to everybody. Like, and you know what? I've heard that more. Like, I've been getting the praise and the accolades. I think the most now since I've been on Twitch. I don't know if it's because people are getting to see me in the flesh now as opposed to when they were listening to me on the radio. But I mean, I knew that I had an impact on the city of Montreal, but like, I would have never imagined that people, would have been calling me a legend and all that. But I take the title now. I want. I'm glad that I had an impact. When I say that, I'm glad that I had an impact on the city, and I'm glad more than anything that I'm a part of people's memories. Like Preach will tell you, the first time he heard a single on the radio, Don Smooth dropped it, or the first time he had an article in the newspaper, I wrote it, or other people have different memories. The fact that I'm a part of people's memories, to me, that's legendary.
Man, I've had people brag about you hanging up on them. Okay, like, like you gotta understand. It wasn't once. It was like 5, 6 times. Sometimes on this very platform, Don Smooth hung up on me. I could never act, and I'm like, man,
that's hilarious.
You gotta be like a legend to have somebody, like a full ass grown ass man, brag about you hanging up on them.
That is hilarious. Well, them phones did get busy at times. They did.
So, like, let's say we wanted to revive something like that in the city. I mean, evidently, if it created memories, something like that should exist. I don't know, Preach be doing his thing, everybody be doing their thing. But, like, I look at best lists and choosing the best is one of the hardest things in the world to actually do. So to be in the position of curating that, how does one approach it?
Well, with me, going back to what was done in my radio time, was I let the audience choose it. I put it out there to hopefully get an unbiased opinion, and I let the audience choose. We had a segment that was called Battle of the New Tracks, and basically I would take 2 songs. In the beginning, it used to be like industry songs. It would be like Jay-Z versus, I don't know, whoever at the time, Fat Joe, whatever. And then over time, I was like, that's cool and all that, but I'm like, that's not really doing anything. Like, they don't need none of that. So I was like, I started doing it with locals. Locals. One of the first groups was FBI Jedis, which was a group out of Ganawage. I started with them. So they're the hometown heroes. So they were slaughtering everybody, but then it got their fans tuning into the radio. And then there was an extension. People would be tuning in like, okay, we got to tune in, listen, we got to support, call up the radio station, vote for our group. So I was like, okay. I was like, we got something here. So I was like, you know what? Instead of me doing mainstream artists that don't need this, I'm going to focus on the local artists. And then at the same time, that was making those artists go out there and say, made them work. They had to call up their friends and say, listen, you got to call the radio station and vote for me. You got to get behind there and support me. And it just snowballed to the point where like I had like, there was a waiting list of people that wanted to be on the Battle of the New Tracks. And then I let the audience decide. The audience would decide who was the best. And if you won for like, 2 weeks, if you ran, I think I used to do it like if you had to win like 10 in a row. If you ran for 2 weeks, then I would put your song into rotation. Those songs never played throughout my show. That was the only time those songs would get played. So you won the Battle of the New Tracks. That's how you earned a spot to get played among the other music after that.
Yeah, that's a super interesting.
The audience decided.
Nah, that's a wild concept. I mean, it's hard to do with Instagram. Instagram's a weird platform for it, but it might be really pullable. You could probably pull something like that off on Twitch. You could like leverage a Discord for the calls.
Yeah.
That'd be wild. Cause I don't know. Something like that is needed. There's no like unbiased middle ground where people can submit the music. That's like a hub. I guess it adds context to what I see other people doing and trying to bring it back, and why so many people were like, we need to bring back what Don Smooth was doing. Because I've heard that too. Even before I talked to you, people were saying that about it. Because like there was something to it, but really it brought people into it. It brought fans into it. It brought like a level of it. And you can kind of do that with an Instagram story, but like it just disappears really quick, and then it's just not cool. Like I don't find like Instagram sticks. Like it's just nobody cares after 2 weeks.
So it's microwave, it's just hot for a minute, and then people move on to the next thing where people really got invested into this. Like they were up on it on a daily basis. Shout out to Pixie, definitely. Forever Preach, I think definitely he's on that Montreal vibe right now. He's promoting the Montreal music, exposing them to Twitch now. So like he's grabbed the baton and he's running with it. Guys like yourself, 514 Online Mix, like you guys have. I've passed the baton. You guys are running with it now. So definitely that's something that can continue on. And you have your versions of it. But it was really, what more than anything, it made the artists level up. It gave them motivation. They learned that, like, you can't just show up at the radio station here, play my CD and get played. No, you got to earn that. You want your music to get played. I don't care if you call your friends and your friends or all your friends are calling the radio station for you to win. That's kind of what you got to do. You got to build that fan base. Those are the same friends now. When you got to do a show, these are the people that you got to get to buy tickets to come and support you. So I was indirectly, I was trying to plant that in the artist. Like, this is a way you got to market yourself, get your people behind you to support you. And you want to get played on the radio? It's not for free. But if you show me that you did this and you went through these steps, I'll drop you in there and you'll be playing next to the mainstream artists as well. And you would see like the quality of it, like it started here, and the quality of the music, like it really took off over time. It forced people to level up and to get better at what they were doing.
So like, if you were to do something like that today, would you do it with videos? Like, how would you manifest this?
I mean, if you're talking the Twitch route, I would definitely, as much as possible, like to bring the videos because, I mean, the capabilities are there, so why not use it? You know, I mean, video wasn't an option, but video is an option now. So if I was to do it on Twitch, I would hope that the artists would have videos or come through with some kind of visuals. Say if they don't have a video, maybe they could record themselves spitting it. People just like to put a face to the voice or to what they're doing. You know, it just adds to the total package. So I would definitely like a video to be a part of it. A big part of what I do on Twitch is video DJing now anyway. But for something like that, I wouldn't come back and do it the way it was done in, 2010. For sure, I would want to add the videos to it.
And so for you, it's not necessarily about like the illest music video, but just about adding to that personability to it. So people should just be pushing videos regardless.
Well, push good stuff. Like you don't just push something for the sake of pushing it, but put together something of quality that's worthwhile. That other people will get something from it. Don't just make something for the sake of making it.
That's fair. Making music videos is hard. It is definitely like a whole other kind of thinking that's unlike most things I ever had to think about before. I made a whole lot before somebody told me B-roll was important. And then I'm like, oh, that's some important shit. And then I guess you can learn about it. But, it's hard to make good videos when you don't know anything about making good videos.